Up the afternoon power hour. Thanks for all those who were waiting. I think I'm going to start them around 12:15 now. That gives me enough time to get ready, get set, and go. I also think that I properly turned on the closed captions as was requested yesterday. So you should be able to toggle or select closed captions. I think I did that correctly. So thanks to those that were suggesting that I turn on the captions. So that should be taken care of. We're back for basically day 3 of taking a look at PropShop accounts traded on Tickblaze. And today I also have set up a link I can give you that if you want to request these templates, with the caveat that I don't yet have full training on the process of implementing them in terms of getting them into Tickblaze. If you're not familiar at all with Tickblaze and importing templates, Tickblaze has a lot of support, documentation, videos, and otherwise that can show you how to do that. But if you want sort of down and dirty, I should have that this weekend. However, the launch sale of 90% off the evaluations is going to end on Saturday, I believe. So if you're interested in picking some of these up and joining me in this little informal challenge, I have 5 $100,000 accounts. These are the first 5 I ever got. You can see pretty nice profitable day here today. So if some setups and opportunities present themselves, I'll trade them a little bit more. Also, those of you that are here, can I get a quick one for picture and sound just to make sure that picture and sound's okay? That would be helpful. And if someone also can just help me out and click on the captions and see if the captions are working for English. I think you can only enable them for English, although that probably won't be long before Google, Gemini, and all that stuff. All right, captions are working. Thank you very much. Perfect. All right, we keep improving every day, right? Okay, so I did want to go through a little bit of a very simple training here. Again, I'll have some more formal training. Thank you, everybody, in a little bit on Tickblaze. But let me move this over like to the corner or something. There we go. That's a little better. That way it's not over that. I am completely flat. Here are the stay in your lane Rankos, and here is the Dow Jones, which I've mostly been trading today, resting in order to buy 42,103 and 41,975. Can probably see what those levels are if you're not familiar with the strategy at all over here on the range trader. We're going to always look at the prior session's low. Buying and being long is a lot easier than being short. And this is developing value area low, but it'll probably hold as the value area low. We got down to almost S2 today. All right, so I'm working in order to buy right there. Also, you can put in a bid zone here. This is how we do our bid zones. We're going to connect this low with this low, and this will create a clear bid zone right here. And if you get my template here, these drawing objects are saved here: big white arrow, bid zone, and offer zone. And the offer zone draws in a red area, where at one point today, now it's tariffs off, tariffs on in the courts, right? Tariffs off, tariffs on in the courts. What a fade yesterday. This move. A lot of people thought this was just a reaction to NVIDIA after the fact. It was some leaked news and then official news of a legal stopping to the tariffs that lasted all of, not even 24 hours. So those are the kinds of markets and environments that we're trading in. But again, if you check out the PropShop, there's going to be many reasons to hang out with TDG, the Traders Dev Group, and me, the Futures Fanatic, as we work through these PropShop accounts. One that I've mentioned is a very simple one, even if you don't yet see a major differentiation for yourself between this and some other firms. You can use it as an opportunity, again, to do this informal challenge of say, hey, are you at the point where you can buy 1 to 5 or 10? Please don't buy more than 10. I don't even think you should buy more than 5. But anyway, let's pick a number, 5. Are you at the point where you can buy 5 of these and activate every single one with no resets so that your evaluations are number 1 through 5, and then your funded accounts are 1 through 5, right? I don't know if anyone has a funded account yet. or a account that qualifies for payouts. So I'm not really sure what the nomenclature or the way this is set up, but I imagine it's going to be something that will also be 1 through 5. Yeah, the VWAP song. That song's a good song. I agree. It's a good tune. All right. And for everything TDG, which is my trading and education company, you just go over to tradersdevgroup.com, and that's where you can sign up for trials, get the ebook, get all the good stuff. The ebook is right here. Resources ebook. Here's the ebook. Okay. All right. Okay, now who wants the link to access the templates? Who wants the link to access the templates? I'm sure some of you do. So for members, that link is in here in Discord, but I'm gonna go get it real quick. And I'll drop it in here, and I'll show you the page that it points to. All right, so we'll put it right here. And this is the page that it goes to. Don't put in an email that you can't access, or you're not going to get them. Okay, so don't put in an email that you can't access. All I need is your first name and email, and then the first one on there is which are you trading, and select PropShop. There's a small little video here. It's 3 minutes. It'll walk you through a little bit about how to import a resource. Okay, but let me go through a few things that we covered today in our trade room that I think were some questions and was helpful for people. All right, so over here on the right hand side, you guys can see I'm on the right hand side of the screen. All right, hold on a second. Oh, got filled there. Just a second. Positions, I just want to close this.
Order filled.
All right, let me just move that out of the way. Okay, market's moving a little higher. Okay, so we're over here. I just want to make sure I'm on the right screen today. Correct. And one last thing on signing up, it's the code is right there. The code's also on the website. I don't have my own code, so you're doing me a service by just being here and hit the like button and being a friendly, good person and helping other people learn how to find their way over to what we're doing here. All right, so the first thing is there was some questions about connecting to Rhythmic data. The way you connect over here is you're going to go to connections, okay? Connections, and I have these connections already in here, but you would start with a data connection. You'd say new data connection, right? Okay, let's say you sign up for PropShop, you get your Rhythmic information. I don't know if that is being emailed. So if it's not being emailed, the one way you can always find it is you go to Trader Dashboard. Go to your Trader Dashboard, and as soon as your account is set up, okay, I have these 5 accounts, your Trader information, which is the same as the information you're going to put in to Tickblaze, is right here, okay? Now, as you can see, there's a whole connection guide and everything in here. Some people are having issues finding this page. The way you find this page is you go to your Trader Dashboard. There's both a dashboard and there's a Trader Dashboard. So you go to your Trader Dashboard, you select one of these accounts, okay? Select one of these accounts, and then you'll have your login information here. Now, if you are brand new to this whole thing and you have never done anything with prop programs and Rhythmic, I'm not going to go through the entire process here. You do want to look at the Rhythmic connection guide first. You have to log into Rhythmic one time. I'm going to show you how you only have to do it one time, and you will have to, and Rhythmic is called RTrader, and you'll have to accept some agreements that say you're a total bozo non-professional that has no chance of ever making money, and please don't charge me anything. Okay? So you'll go in, you'll do that. Let's say that you've already done that, okay? And now you have your RTrader Pro credentials right here. Everyone get how you get to there? Trader dashboard right here. Again, I don't remember. They probably email them to you as well, but if you're impatient, your account should probably be set up within a few minutes. Okay? All right, so you got that stuff. Then you're going to come over here to connections. You're going to go data provider. You're going to go Rhythmic, okay? And I don't know what this is. In-game HUD available. That's interesting. Okay. Connection name, you can name it whatever it's going to be named. So you'd name it the PropShop, right? And you go next, all right? And this is the part that was tripping people up. I don't know if this button is checked by default, but you don't want this button checked. So uncheck this button, all right? And if you're connecting to PropShop, make sure that you're connecting to the system called PropShop. Then you just put in your username and your password, and you're good to go. You don't have to have Rhythmic open, all right? If you're connecting to something else like Apex, then select Apex. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? Look at how fast track trading is still in here, right? If you're connecting to the futures pit, the trading pit or the futures funded network, okay? Now, little pro tip, there is a Bullinox connection here, but Bullinox doesn't seem to be paying for their server anymore, or something's going on. So if you're connecting to Bullinox, then you're going to want to connect to Rhythmic paper trading. All right, I'm showing you a little bit of outside of the purpose here, which is to connect first to the PropShopTrader. Then you go and do the exact same thing with your broker connection. All right, this is going to be a little difficult to do over YouTube with delayed comments, but is there any questions on that? Samuel, I won't be able to answer those kinds of things over the... I mean, my general response is, guys, it's like 15 bucks on this sale. So take a risk on 15 bucks. If you're having some stability issues with Tickblaze, make sure you're on the latest build. The latest build, the way you find out about the latest build is you go to Menu, and you go to Help, and you go to About. So I'm on 600, and I'll talk a little bit about 600 today. So you want to be on this. And yes, they call it RC because it's Rod Casilli and I rule the world. No, I don't know why it's called RC, but that's kind of cool. All right. So real quick on this thing, like if you're not flat, you lose your account, all these kinds of things. So if you like that, then just go with a firm that does that. Apex does it. I don't know. Apex does it, and TopStep does it, and a few others do it. And there's some that don't. There's some that if you have a resting order, even before news, like 30 seconds before news, you have a resting order, they'll go and flag that and fail your account. So, pros and cons on all the firms. And you can make a suggestion. Tickblaze just launched. They're probably open to suggestions. Maybe at some point they'll implement the same thing. Well, they'll just flatten everybody from every position within 5 minutes of the close, and you never have to worry about that. I don't know if that's not the situation right now. So there we go. All right, so any questions about what I showed? All right, you get that point, all right? All right, that's how you create your connections. All right, right now I'm connected to PropShop as for data and to PropShop as my broker. You can mix and match these things. I don't suggest that you do that, but you can mix and match. You could switch to Apex data and power your PropShop account. Again, I won't suggest you do that stuff. I think the best thing to do is to always have these two activated. All right. The other thing I want to show you that I have set up that I think makes things a little bit better and easier, this is how I've always set it up for Ninja as well, is if you go over to Tools and you go to Options and you go to Runtime, I would check and suggest that you check Open Desktop Disconnected. So you have to check that to open the desktop disconnected. If I were to close Tickblaze right now, it's going to disconnect from Rhythmic, okay? And disconnect from the broker. The platform is closed. When I open it back up, I want to have to manually go in and select the data and broker again. You may not want that, but if you're going to multi-prop or going to have a bunch of different different desktops and all these kinds of things, I would generally suggest that you do not open your desktop, or you open your desktop disconnected. Okay? Yeah. There's always going to be complainers. That's just the way things work. Yes, you can use prop data and trade on IB. Yes, you can. There's still some issues with IB. I wouldn't recommend going full blown yet. I'm going to try to give the go ahead for my group when I'm ready, but right now I still have issues trading treasuries. I've seen some sync issues and some other things. So for now, my focus is the PropShop launch, and then moving on to other broker connections and other things. But I mean, if you saw the original launch of Tickblaze, it's super powerful. I just had a call this morning with Quantasy and with another quant hedge fund firm that offers some teaching and training on quantitative algorithmic development. My first response was, well, 99% of people that ever email or talk to me, of course, this is no one listening to my voice. You guys are all brilliant, beautiful people, but they have little interest in coding and programming. But maybe out there are some folks that would see that a major power of Tickblaze is stuff that 99.9% of people aren't even using, which is the backtesting, the multi-asset portfolio management, and all the development that you can do on Python and R or C++, C++, or whatever you want to do. So I might start working a little bit more on that in terms of at least handing people off, hey, if you want to learn how to do this and use this platform in a more powerful way, because I got on that tangent because it is connected to IB as well. All right, so I would open my desktop and I would absolutely make sure that sync positions with broker is clicked, okay? So this is a little unintuitive, at least to me, because the unchecked state is what opens your desktop connected. Anyway, take a snapshot of this. This is the way I have it set up, and it's working well for me. All right, now on importing, this is simple as heck. If you grab my desktop, it should look exactly like this. You're going to go to Tools, Import Resources. You're going to hear a little and it's going to be imported. Now, how do you find it? You go up to Menu, Desktops, Recent Desktops, and it will be the first one right there. It should be, even if you've never opened it. You should have Rod TDG _ 30-minute _ stay in your lane micros. Okay? So there you go. With your setup, can I use Apex and PropShop together? So if you have Apex Rhythmic and PropShop is only Rhythmic right now, you can use PropShop to power your Apex accounts if you're using a Rhythmic platformless copier like Expert Trader Programmer, which is called the ETP. Once we get people on board and sort of signed up and figuring this out, I will do teaching and training on ETP as well. I've already done some videos and stuff on the two or three that work predominantly with Tradeovate and Ninja. The one that I use is called Replicanto, but you cannot use Replicanto or Ninja or any of that with PropShop. Okay, the only way you can use a prop firm with NinjaTrader is if they also have a relationship with Tradeovate, and then some of them are grandfathered in to support Rhythmic and at Ninja as well as Tradeovate, but all of them have a Tradeovate relationship. We're getting too far in the weeds. Don't worry about that. So here we go. Menu, Desktops, Recent Desktops, boom, and then you'll have this desktop here, okay? Now, nothing is happening in the markets right now, so there's no real reason to trade kind of anything, so we're going to do a little bit of teaching and training here. All right, so we answered that. So are we able to trade Apex, Trade-Evade through Tickblaze? No. No. So to upgrade to the latest, we just install over. Yes, that's all you do. It's a simple install. So you just install it. It removes the other one and installs it. If you have Apex Trade-Evade, it won't work. Okay. There are plenty of ways also to find out from the Tickblaze support and help center and information how to do a clean install if you want to do a clean install. I have for the last 4 or 5 builds not been doing that because I just wanted to test a what you might call a non-clean install, where we just install the latest version. It automatically removes the prior version and puts in the new version. That's what I want. Simplicity eventually, as I'm sure you all do. Now, on 600, we've found an issue with the bands. Okay? So what's happening randomly is these bands, the fix has already been done. I know it's being tested. Hopefully I'll have that very soon. So and I mentioned that to people in my room, all right? So for a very short period of time, if you install my desktop and you also have the volatility bands on NinjaTrader or on Trade-Evade or on TradingView, you're going to notice that they look a little different and the levels are different. And that's because VWAP's getting offset, or there's some bug. I don't know what's actually going on. I think I can replicate it if I just go and refresh this chart. Watch what'll happen to VWAP. It's going to drop down because it's adjusting to what is the proper VWAP level for all the tick data that it's bringing in right now. I'm pretty sure I can replicate it right here. Yeah, see that? See this? No bueno. See that? But I think it now has VWAP proper. Let me just look. VWAP MES is where? 935s? No. So this is wrong. It's all wrong. So it's not working. It's not working. So good news is the swings are working, but we don't have this is not what you want. Okay? So that's a known issue. Everything on the range trader so far has looked fantastic. No issues here. I think it looks fantastic because it looks the way my ninjas looked for the last 10 years. So you get the latest version by just logging into PropShop. They'll have the latest version on there, or you just go to Tickblaze. And you would need a login to Tickblaze. You can get the latest version there. But I imagine that the latest version will always be available. If you download Tickblaze right here, I would hope that they make that pretty close to the latest version. All right, let's get back to who's up for my challenge. And that challenge is buy some evaluation accounts. Buy ones that are that are appropriate for your skill set. Don't buy a $200,000 one so you can trade minis. Doesn't work like that. Not to sound like a dick, but I bought the 100,000 because I could pass the 50,000s in my sleep. So I needed to give myself a little bit of time for everybody to catch up. And then I also bought the ones, I bought a little bit more drawdown risk. Not that we need it, but they offer the ability to match your profit objective to your drawdown risk. So if you like that, if you want a $100,000 account with $6,000 in drawdown and $6,000 in profit objective, you can do that. On a $100,000 or $6,000 account, your daily risk budget should not exceed $600. Okay. Now, also another thing that I showed yesterday that's very, very cool is if you want to know, like many firms have this, right? A lot of firms have this. By the way, I don't know if anyone from Tickblaze is here, if Ashley was watching these again, but don't make the progress to target red. That's not, this should be green. This isn't the law. This isn't loss. Red's a bad color for this. Change it. There you go. All right. So you have this whole area here. You can read more about that. Okay, there's help menus always here. But what I really like, and I've shown this in my room a couple times, is after your trading day is over, pop on in to the account. If you're using a copier and the trades were the same across all accounts, you probably only have to do this on one account. Come on over and hit View Trades. Whoops. Hit View Trades. See this? I think they're the only firm that does this. This is very cool. It shows you that it shows you the result of each trade, and it tells you whether it was compliant or not. So on a day-to-day basis, you know what's going on. If you see some things that are non-compliant there, get in touch with them. Figure out why. That way there's no guesswork when you get to... I've always said, and I'll say it again for as many times as people are going to tune into these things, and I know that 90% of the audience is the same, but I should probably say all this stuff at the very beginning of each broadcast. If you do things the way I describe them in the Prop Done Right ebook, you will have no problem getting payouts at any firm. If you deviate from that significantly, even though the firms allow you to, you might have more issues with payouts. If you think that you are entitled to trade max size like a drunk monkey as long as you technically fly under the radar and then want to complain when there's issues with your compensation for your time, I don't have any sympathy for you. And yes, that's even because cars go 150 miles an hour. My car goes 180 miles an hour. I'm not allowed to drive at 180 miles an hour. It goes 180 miles an hour. I'm not allowed to drive at 180 miles an hour. And we could pick plenty of other analogies where people are just acting like total assholes by complaining about the way these programs are set up. This is, without a doubt, the best time in the history of forever to be learning how to develop this skill. You have now dozens, including the Prop Shop, that will give you practically free money for you to practice. The $50,000 accounts at 90% off, I think, are $15, maybe $17. Buy two of those, $38. You get the Tickblaze platform. You get my templates if you use my link. I don't even care if you use my link. Find your way anyway there. Use my templates because my templates have my strategies in them. My strategies work. Anyhow, this feature of trade details is very cool, and check it out. We got it up to like 168 one time, but I was in the passenger seat. I had a valet from a club in Vegas drive me home at like 4:30 in the morning. He's like, "Hey, dude, can I open this up?" I was like, "I can't even see. Do whatever you want." That'd be a great way to go out. James Dean, Paul Walker, and Rod Casilli go up in flames in a Porsche. Has there been any recent adjustments with your link in the past several days? I don't know what that means. Recent adjustments with my link. The best link to use is this. This points to, and again, I'll have a code probably by tomorrow, maybe sooner, and then you can just use the code, the custom code, and you know that you've done the right thing. But look, and upward, higher in the stream, you can find this page here. So if you want to with the software. Sorry, dude, I still don't know what that means. If you're talking about this desktop, I've made no changes to the desktop. I've locked it in. So this desktop, if you mean this software, it will be the same as what you're seeing right here. The only issue that I've seen is that sometimes they load with, you see these swings here? I don't even know if this is the question, but I'm going to show one other thing. So here's these swings. If you go to indicators and add edit settings, these swing points are right here. I was finding that it was loading with these disabled. So I already got some questions like, well, where are the swings? I see them there, but they're not here. There's a disabled. So this was being checked by default, and the swings weren't being shown. So if you uncheck that, then you'll see the swings. Swing low, sweet terrier. So there you go. Now I understood. There was an issue with the swings, but it didn't have anything to do with my build. It had with my template. It had to do with Tickblaze, with the platform. And those of you that are in the know will know that these swings are really only appropriate on these tick charts with Renkos. So if you're using minute bars, you know, if you don't want to use these types of bars, just import it, and then you can go and just switch all these to minute bars, you know. I'm not going to provide full training on how to do all that. Tickblaze has done, there's so many videos on that, but anyone who's used a platform for a while, you can just fart around here for a little bit. You'll figure out how to switch data types. You right click, it gets you to most of the stuff that you need to do. All right, going a little higher. Take a look at the Dow Jones. Again, this is not the offer zone yet on the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is at VWAP. It's not in the offer zone here. So again, if you're just joining the stream for hopefully not more than the remainder of this week, these volatility bands are not correct. At least they're not correct on build 600 and beyond, on the current build that I'm on. And that doesn't have anything to do with the template or desktop. The desktop will work the same once the underlying indicator is fixed. All right. So Sinclair on the swings, you right click, okay? Did you import my desktop, right? So you right click, you go to indicators, you go to add edit settings. Under swing points, yours is probably, this box is probably checked. So uncheck this box. Uncheck this box. All right. Can you trade after hours? You can trade futures 23 hours a day. From Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can trade all the way through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're 23 hours a day, 5.5 days a week. Don't trade during certain holidays, and all the firms will remind you when you're not supposed to trade. Maybe you missed it, but PropShop.eval can connect to Ninja via Rhythmic paper trading server. No. No, it can't. Rhythmic is like this, Ninja has become like the CME. They are the Gestapo. So they charge outrageous prices for their OMS, which stands for Order Management System. They charge outrageous prices for access to the software, and it's not sustainable. Now you might say, well, okay, there's enough firms already. There sure is. But it was going to be very, very difficult for firms to continue to offer that infrastructure. So what you can do is you can connect to Apex Rhythmic on a Rhythmic platformless copier like Expert Trader Programmers, and then you can drive those trades from your PropShop account. I will get into all that at some point. But the message that needs to be conveyed is that Ninja is essentially a closed system and can only be used with firms that support Trade-Evade, of which PropShop is not one and probably never will be one. To my knowledge, I don't know the exact situation with Europe. I got the supported countries. I didn't see things like UK, Germany, France, Italy. I didn't see anything on there as a Spain as a non-permitted country, and yet there is still an issue. I guess during this launch, it's not available yet. So I'll make sure I keep everyone. I have a call with them at 1:30 today. I'll try to get the details on all that so I can report back on all that. Are these withdrawal rules sustainable? I don't know what you mean by sustainable. If you listen to part of the launch webinars, if you will, this firm took a long time to launch because they really did want to understand how to be able to maybe quickly adjust if a lot of things change, meaning having to really assess trading talent, pay out via SIM funded for only a very short period of time, and then take a small percentage of traders to live markets with proper capital, not just covering the margins associated with their trading account. So I don't know if any of it is sustainable. You've seen some notices from Apex on saying that the sim live carnival game, mostly of appealing to shot takers and stuff like that, was not sustainable. But I know the group there is not naive. They're well aware if they're going to offer that much size and buying power, whatever, there's going to be a lot of people that just come in and go max size and do all these things. What's going to happen is the software is going to catch all that behavior and tell people right away, hey, you keep this up, you just wasted your money, because we're not going to pay you if you act like that. So at least you'll know right away. Over on Ninja today, this is my results from Ninja. I still haven't passed this last 159,000. I'm getting close. But if you do this with your directive funding accounts, and by this I mean risk-adjusted returns, this is all generated trading 3 micros. Let me state that again. It's all generated trading 3 micros. $868, 3 micros. $369, 3 micros. It's all 3 micros. And on PropShop, it looks like this. PropShop, most of this profit was just from a short that I did last night during the melt up that was a result of that tariff legal ruling. I just shorted the Russell. Did you guys see? So right here. I don't know if you can see this. Big white arrow. There was a sell here and here, and another one here. Then I covered one here, covered the last 2 here. Then I actually got short here and covered, and that's all I've done. That's mostly what led to the profits for today. There's not a lot of opportunity in Globex trading, but in this particular environment, we've been seeing some opportunities. Which Rankos am I using on which chart? So this is all covered in, look at what a mess this chart is. Look at this. This is a total mess. Why in the hell did this happen? Who knows? All right. Anyway, this is a mess. Don't trade this. It's a mess. It looks like an Ikanishu cloud. The minute bars aren't going to matter. I don't think. You might try it. You might try it. I haven't actually tested it. It's a good thing to test actually. We could test it on because this looks wrong too. I don't know if this is wrong. Let me look at crude. No, crude actually looks kind of correct. If you have access to TradingView or to NinjaTrader, yeah, why don't you do that? Check out if they're correct. I want to stick with the, I'm not going to do some of that right now because I'm testing some other things that are important to the Renkos, but you could certainly check that out. Payout rules and all that stuff, consistency, everything else that's a specific rule to the firm, you can just look it up. Look it up on the firm. Oh, good. Great to hear from you, Kim. So if you heard, we're back at this thing with a simple challenge. Let's keep our costs really, really low. I know that I did that launch with Profit Trade. That did not work out. Total disaster. This situation should be very different, is very different. So don't worry about that being the case, but take your time, go slow, fund the first accounts that you buy, keep your cost basis low. I think the activation fee is like a couple $100 maybe for the 100,000s. I think it's 100 or something for the 50s. So you can have a $3,000 worth of buying power on a $50,000 valuation account within about 30 days of work, and your total cost per account maybe $125. I think $125 for 3,000 is a pretty good deal. Then just treat it like it's a real $3,000, like you really deposited $3,000 in an account, and take it from there. Oh, back to the Renko settings. I have they're on the cheat sheet that you can get if you go through my trial. Generally, I use a 6x1 or a 7x2 on the ES, and then I use on the NASDAQ I use a 16x4, and then on the others, Dow Jones, I use an 11x2. So those that know how it works on Ninja with like the Ninja Renkos, let me quickly explain the difference for how it works here, right? Because what you see up here, this says 612.5, right? So here's the magic for how this works. Okay, let me just double click on this. Okay, so the bar size is 6. We all get that, right? So that's 6 ticks. It's a 1.5 in the ES, right? Now, you have to set the reversal here. Now, if you want them to look the same as Ninja, okay, I originally thought this was a little silly, but now I see the benefit if you want to do these kinds of things. I'm not going to mess around with these types of things, but by all means, I would highly suggest some of you do that understand the way the Renkos work and want to play around with other things. So if you want a typical reversal, which means when the bar reverses, you double the size of the ticks to 12. Does that make sense? And then you do the offset to be 1 less than the tick value. So in other words, this is the same as a 6x1 on Ninja. You got that? Now, if I wanted a 7x2, I would go to 7 here. I would go to 14 here, and I would leave this at 5. So now I have a 7x2. If I wanted a 7x2, you got it? But what you can play around with is you could make the reversal less or more. Why would you want to do that? Well, there's an opportunity to use some momentum-based buy stop or sell stop entries where you could make the reversal where you would start to get a red bar before it closed a full, in the case of 6x1, a 12-tick reversal is 3 points, right? Let's say you wanted to reverse at 2.25 points, right? You guys kind of picking up what I'm putting down? That you'd have to sort of understand how this works. I'm not going to go into it a lot more detail, but that's the idea. And then here on the 11x2s, again, it's 11, double that, it's 22, that's your reversal. And then offset it by 2, it's a 2 offset from, because on Ninja, the way this would look is there's only 2 settings. You would just say 11 and 2. There's no reversal size in ticks. The reversal is by default always twice the bar size. All right, we got it through all that stuff. Let me go over here and make sure I have no open orders. I might actually, probably do. Right click, cancel all orders.
Order canceled.
Okay, let's make sure we have no positions. That's the result of our accounts. Don't try to catch up to me. Go slow and steady. This challenge will last for, it's an informal challenge. There's no leaderboard. There's nothing like that. So just take your time. I think you can do some of this on other platforms, but they make it really easy on Tickblaze, where I can see my remaining drawdown, the same as what you can pull in from Rhythmic, and my liquidation balance. Okay, so no way, shape, or form in a million years am I ever going to lose 5,900, 5,800, 5,400. I'm just not going to do it. And you don't have to do it either. It takes a special type of dumb to blow through 5,900 demo dollars. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Establish a $400 or $500 daily risk budget. Never abide by it. And unless you have the worst strategy in the world, you shouldn't lose more than a couple days in a row. Really, you shouldn't even lose more than 2 days in a row. I almost never lose 2 days in a row. This idea that small account trading this way, you have to go through deep, sustainable drawdowns and stuff, that's just all bullshit. It's not true. It's just not true. I'm fortunate to have a lot of very, very large accounts in a lot of different asset classes. And of course they go through all kinds of drawdowns because I'm holding positions and the market goes up and down and I'm not actively trading them. But if you're actively trading, that's your only job, is to manage risk. Your only job is to have your finger on the button and push the close button. Then there's no excuse. Somebody commented the other day, discipline is so hard. Okay, if you have trouble with all this stuff, just you only have to do 2 things when it comes to these programs. Trade micros and hit the close button with the daily risk budget. That's all. I don't even care, honestly, if you trade the micro equivalent, but honestly, just trade like half or a third of the micro equivalent. So I don't know, sling around 5 micros or 6 micros or 8 micros. I don't know. By the time you get to 10 micros, then you're breaking the rules. You're doing a mini. So I don't know, trade 3, 4, 5, 6 micros even before you're ready. Have a daily risk budget that doesn't exceed 10% of your account value. That's the only discipline you need. And if you're not capable of doing those 2 things, then please quit. Just quit. And I swear to God, I mean that. Just quit. There are some people that can't do that. If you can't do that, then quit. Now, within those parameters, there's a lot of people that can dance between the raindrops and kind of know what they're doing and understand when and they don't go on tilt and they don't get super frustrated. So maybe they want to push an evaluation a little further, or just use the first series of accounts to just get to a payout and break even. And then they'll act differently because they're capable of that. That's fine. You don't have to be a freaking robot. I get it. We have a lot of people in our community that have done that. You know, a little bit of drunk monkey in between, get some payouts, get some real money, see that it's real, break even, and now let's go to work. And you know, I'm not concerned about my subscription renewing or anything like that. But if you're floundering before that state, then by all means, those are the only 2 things you got to do. 10% risk budget that you always abide by. And the other thing I'll mention, if you actually are losing 3 or 4 days in a row, then come on in, check out my trial, and do your damnedest to try to follow along with what I'm doing, because it's nearly impossible. But I'll slow down for some people sometimes. I don't know if members in my group agree, I think I've been doing a pretty good job of spending like 60% of the time on the Dow recently, where that's the chart I have up. Who's here? Give me a 1 in the chat if you're a member and you were in the room today and you were trading the Dow. It was just like a dream. Literally. It was easy as heck. Here's the Dow on the range trader, right? You honestly could have been long and short in here. Then it took this big dump. This was after the room closed, right as the room closed. 8:30 actually. But all this, which doesn't look like much on 30 minutes, all this was easy peasy range trading. And what a surprise. It ended up being a perfect Indian arrow. If you go to my Futures Fanatic course, you can learn about the Indian arrow pattern. You offer and get short here. You get long here. And by the way, once again, an outside day down was bought up and was profitable. So all that good stuff. All right, let me see. Any other questions? Good. See all these ones in here for people that are in our group? Yes. Don't try to follow me. That's not possible. But at any time, you're welcome to ask for a sanity check, and I'm happy to pull over my P&L over here, and it's always within an $800 level up or down, and rarely more than $600 to the downside. And now I'm at the point of being a little bit more ultra conservative because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 PAs. This is funded, and this is funded. So I have 6 or 7 $150,000 accounts that have $3,000 to $5,000 balances in them. That to me is $18,000 to $20,000 of real money. So I'm going to do my damnedest to preserve that. All right, that will be it for today. Yes, we had that yesterday. I see a little bit of lag on the so in terms of performance, I think it's a little bit more compute heavy than Ninja. I don't know if it's multi-threaded like Ninja is. Ninja 7 and the first part of Ninja 8 was terrible for a long time. I mean, you got to remember, they've been on Ninja 8 now for, what, 8 years, 7, 8, 9 years? I don't remember when it came out. We waited for 5 years between Ninja 7 and Ninja 8. But yes, there's a little bit of slowness on the tick charts that I see, but I don't see anything on minute charts. I never see any issues with minute charts. The other thing is I'm only loading 1 day of data here on, and when you import my template, the default will be 1 day. Please, please, please do not load more than a few days of tick data on a regular basis. It's just too database intensive. Probably some memory impacts as well. So I have 1 day of data loading for all this, and then on the 30-minute charts, I'm loading 90 days of data so that the T lines are correct. No, you can. I said at the beginning of this year, the question is, should I no longer use Ninja if you're in my room? No, not at all. In fact, you know, I'm always going to have Ninja up as well, because I'm going to continue to multi-prop using the Trade-of-8 situation for now. There's no reason not to. So Tickblaze will be for multi-propping using Rhythmic, and then Ninja Trader will be for multi-propping using Trade-of-8 prop firms. Does that make sense? So you do not have to buy PropShop accounts. You don't have to buy. You don't have to pay for Tickblaze anymore.
The market is closed.
Okay, so you don't have to use this if you don't want to. I'm going to gravitate more towards this because I need I think the market and everybody needs an alternative to Ninja Trader for sure. And I now have a one-click install so that you can install, open up, and have my exact template ready to go. It's just going to make it a lot easier for teaching and training. Yeah, someone's also mentioning there can always be these combinations of charting and analysis on one platform, and you know, I think if you're a laptop trader, even if you have a couple USB external screens, it's going to be pretty difficult to have more than a couple desktop platforms running at the same time, so you generally want to standardize on one. So there you go. Yes, you can connect Bullinox to Tickblaze. You can connect Take Profit. You can connect any firm that supports Rhythmic. Okay. There might be a few that haven't enabled the server yet. So if you work with some of these other firms that I'm not familiar with, but I have mine. I have a connection to Bullinox right here. Bullinox Rhythmic. And in future trainings, and if you're in my room, I'll show you some of the tips on how I switch between connections. Generally, what I do is I switch the data connection first. So I'll switch from PropShop data to Bullinox Rhythmic data. Now, you cannot be logged into Rhythmic on more than one platform at a time. So you can't be logged into, other than RTrader. So you can't be logged into Ninja Rhythmic and then log into Rhythmic data on Tickblaze. But obviously, as long as it's just one, you can do that. So you just click here, and then as soon as that loads, then I go and switch to my broker connection. And as we were mentioning before, you can mix and match these things, including to live accounts, but I wouldn't be doing that. That's right. My only red account is IB. That is correct. I have made zero money in this account for 2 months, and I've been pretty clear about that, but there's also a reason. I just haven't focused on it as much. For a while, I was going, hey, watch me turn $7,500 of real money every month into $10,000, $11,000, $9,000, whatever. Take $1,500 out, take $2,500 out, as if it's my own little mini prop. But now this prop world has gotten so, I had my first, I don't know, $40,000, because I could have done this before. I had $100,000 months when I took 160 or something from OneUp, a whole ton from Bullinox when they first launched. So, but I was not doing this. Okay, very clear. That was balls to the wall, drunk monkey. Let's make sure these firms can pay and all that kind of stuff. But doing it the TDG way takes quite a bit longer and takes a good amount of attention. And I'm now cranking at payouts from 4 to 6, depends on the month, different firms, and it starts to add up. You take $5,000 to $7,000 from 6 firms, it's a $30,000, $40,000 a month. And we're throwing around some big numbers, and I don't like when I see that from other places. That's why I'm not going to ever have a headline here that watch me make 30, or I did 50,000 in payouts, or all these kinds of things. But it does help, I think, for validation that this stuff works and that micros are mighty, and that if you combine and stitch some of this together, once you have the skill set, this can be significant complement to your income. Okay, so what I'm going to do is post these in our Discord. This is my favorite channel, and I want as many people as possible to be posting to this channel. My favorite channel is actually the Dodger Chronicles, but we haven't been talking much about doggies in a little while. Okay, but I really thank Arthur for coming in here. And Janelle. Am I on the right screen? You guys see this? So screw what I do. And as Sean said, your job is not to come in and follow me or try to figure out. It's to see that these people are most likely doing something within the framework of what I'm teaching. Big milestone through me. I got through 3 cap payouts. It's awesome, Janelle. It's killer. And then these are mine are always going to say Ciridor Holdings because I trade through my LLC. So there's $5,500, and I've now done this 6 times. And I haven't heard from them at all about taking me live or anything like that. Nor have I ever heard from them about you can't buy any more evaluations. But Rod, you're an influencer. They don't treat you the same. Guys, they got 300 and something employees over there at Apex now. When I ask for a payout, they don't know who I am. All right. All right, good. So it's working. remember the coupon code is only good for the gladiators. Is that what it's called? I don't even remember what these things are called. It's only good for the evaluations. If you want to buy one of the direct to funding ones, then I believe that the coupons are included. So the Warriors are where you can use this coupon. See, 90% off Warriors, up to 55% off. But if you're going to buy the instant, I think that the coupon is included in the bundle. I think. Can you buy one of these? I think you can buy one. Yeah, you can buy one. So I don't know if the coupons work for a single one. I haven't done that. All right, that will be it. Can you give us the scoop on your deal again, the 50,000 account? I don't remember. I talk so much nonsense. What did I say? I'm not doing a $50,000 account. I have $100,000 accounts here. So those are the ones I bought. What I've been talking about is a little informal challenge to challenge yourself to buy some of these PropShop accounts, buy the 50,000 evals. They're probably like 15 bucks. By the way, we did determine that they renew for the same amount, so you don't have to rush, right? They renew for the same amount. And since we don't blow them up, I don't care what the reset policies are, but they do reset your account for free if you do blow it up. So just wait till the subscription. No need to ever pay a reset. Please don't pay reset fees. I think I probably get compensated at PropShop like I do elsewhere on reset fees. It's my least favorite thing to see. Please don't do that. There's no reason to reset these accounts. So that's all I was mentioning there. All right, everybody. Thanks. Thank you very much. I think I'm actually going to stream tomorrow again as well. We've been getting a lot of views. We're starting to build a little good thing here. And it was just fortunate today that there really was no reason to trade. So we were able to get through a bunch of other stuff. The market just farted around down here. Quick check. We're at what we would call a bull neutral pattern inside day for the S&P. The NASDAQ finished in a bull neutral pattern inside day after being way outside day up yesterday. Okay. You're generally not going to see things hang around this T line for a whole lot of time. Plus our offer zone is right here, which is a little weird to have an offer zone that close to T line. In other words, we're just going to connect these two levels right there. And then the bid zone really wouldn't be a zone. It would just be basically the prior session low, which was at at value area low, where it's not developing anymore. It's not going to change. 322s. And then on the Dow Jones, which is the easiest thing to trade today, it did actually go into its bid zone. And if you had bought all through here and had the risk budget, man, another V bottom. Talk about bum cakes. My girl's got them. All right. Let me see if I can play us out with this song. I'm going to try to start doing that. I think I just have to go over to this over here, and we're going to play When I Think About VWAP, I Touch Myself. And thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Don't need no guru secret sauce. a beach ball underwater. I smile, I size, I scale with class. Take profit, baby, kiss my touch my mouse. Forget the noise, I block it out. My plan is clean, my stop is stout. View up, you know what I'm
All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining the stream. Be good.